Contracting of town accountant Rick Schubarth. Excuse me, Rick Schubarth is going to be leaving shortly. He is, luckily for him, got some big, larger clients that are going to command more of his time. So the question up for the board is, how do you want to commence finding a replacement for him? And then secondarily, would we like that new accountant to take on more duties for the town of Waukesha?
Question for Attorney Macy.
Yes, sir.
Attorney Macy, I have to back up to item C as in Charlie, deputy clerk / treasurer position. Virtually, there is a very strong need for people in the office to carry on with the daily activity. I heard and understand what the clerk treasurer wants to or will appoint someone, and it will be brought forward to the board. As far as qualifications go with Wiccan books and things of that nature, I can see a quick need for someone to be in the position to handle the daily activity. And what I would like to see, knowing that it takes time to virtually get somebody in place, and that work can't be really made up very easily. In order to keep our heads above water in the office, I would suggest to the board that we immediately hire someone with the necessary qualifications to get the daily activities done before we put somebody in that place, because the time element will hurt us and hurt us bad. That is my recommendation at this point, given with Molly's resignation and the fact that there's talk about Rick leaving also. I see nothing in writing from him, but that's a double need right there. I have to respect Erin's letter dated February 25th to the town board. It should be in your packet. She's been with us quite some time. She has a strong understanding of the daily activity, and I respect what she put down on print. We have to act quickly, get somebody there. I don't believe that's a real big problem, in the sense there's got to be somebody out there that has some credentials that we could hire temporarily to get the ball, to handle the daily activities. And then that'll give Jeannie some breathing room on finding an appointed person, and therefore that'll give us some breathing room to make our next hire the right person for the right job. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman? Does anyone who's had a conversation with Mr. Schubarth, does he have a date certain at which he's leaving, or is he willing to hang with us a bit while we go through the transition, or has that discussion been had at all? Anybody know?
He just mentioned April. He didn't give a date specific.
I guess my suggestion would be, and whether it's the clerk treasurer or the chairman or the two of you together, my suggestion would be to ask him if he would be willing to kind of hang in there with us until we get people in position to take over what he's been doing. I think that would be in the town's interest if we could simply pose that question to him, if he'd extend that professional courtesy to us.
Fair enough. So how would you like to go about authorizing either Jeannie or myself, or how would you like to go about finding a new accountant?
I believe this would be just like item C. Clerk statutes allow for somebody to come in and help with our budget. The clerk has the ability to enlist the aid of any town board approved consultants and or approved staff to assist him or her in the performance of her or his duties. The treasurer's position was combined with the clerk's, so I think that those are interchangeable directives in the ordinance. This is solved the same way that Molly's resignation is solved. The clerk's empowered to bring a candidate to us that she wants to employ and assist. And our role is to approve that, or to consider that individual and consider at what level of compensation that individual will be paid. Am I barking up the right tree there, Attorney Macy?
From a policy standpoint, that certainly is, that's not, the state statutes and your ordinances, to the best of my knowledge, do not address the position of the town accountant. But it's certainly, from a policy standpoint, is consistent. It's, if you consider the accountant as a person who serves as assisting the clerk, treasurer in doing her duties, as a deputy clerk does, from a policy standpoint, it makes sense.
That would be my preference.
So that's what we'll do. Moving on to F,